Hello everyone, my name is David Burns, and today I'm going to show you how you can go from nothing to having a passing working test with Nightwatch JS. Let's start by creating our new directory where our tests are going to live. In this case, we'll create test bash UI challenge. We'll move into our new directory, and from there we will run npm init nightwatch. This is a workflow tool created by the Nightwatch project that allows you to make sure that you have everything you need in the right place by answering a few questions, like which test runner would you like to use? Where would you like to run your test? In this case, I'm going to run it on my machine. Which browsers? Which directory do you want to store your tests in? And if you needed to set your own base URL, you could. You press enter, and then it will make sure that all the relevant details and dependencies are installed on your local machine. When it has finished installing, it will give you some useful information about joining our Discord server, where to raise any issues or feature requests. It also, once installed, will give you some template tests that you can work off. In this case, we won't be using any of those. And it even tells you how to run some of the example tests, so you can see how it runs. Now that we've got everything installed, let's fire up Chrome. We'll be able to start recording our test using the new user experience tool in Chrome DevTools. So once we start recording, we have to name it. In this case, I've named it Test Bash UI Challenge. I'm going to follow all the steps that are required for this challenge and make sure that they are recorded. The one thing that you will notice is that while it is recording, it is incredibly verbose in what it's recording. And we know that when using Selenium, we don't need to have this much granularity with user interactions. Everything I've recorded is just to give me a rough example of how to do the test. We're not doing any assertions, as you'll see. We're just going to take what's the skeleton of the recording and then use it. Once we've finished the recording, we click End Recording. We then go to Export and export as a Nightwatch test. Unfortunately, my screen capture software wasn't able to capture the dialogue. Now that we have our file, let's load up VS Code and see what it looks like. Once loaded, we can see that the export is quite verbose in every user interaction. This is because of the way that the Chrome user experience tool is. Now, we don't know what you do and don't want to use, so we put too much information and allow you to edit it out. So in this case, I'm going to edit out everything that I don't think is needed for this case, but there could be times where you would want to be really granular in all your user interactions. In the interests of time, I've cut out the rest of me editing this file, and then we'll see what it's like when I start running the tests in the next section. Now that we've finished editing the file, we can click on the testing icon in VS Code, select the test we want to run using the Nightwatch extension, and see the results in a minute. This uses all the tooling built into VS Code to show that when tests are running. And there we can see the test has passed. We didn't add any asserts, so it wasn't really going to fail. Let's do our final edits to the file. We're going to create some variables that will hold some of the duplication that is in the test. Like my name. We'll need to use that later on. We'll also need to create a variable for the message that we typed so that we can assert on that later. So copy that out. And there we start using them. Now earlier I said that the recorder is just to give us a skeleton. I remembered at the second last click was to help me find where I needed to be clicking. Let's make it a bit more useful. In this case, I need to make sure that if there's anything else there, that I'm only clicking on my name. Here I'm using string templating, because it's JavaScript, to be able to find the element that I need and click on it straight away. And let's add our assert. A test is not useful until it has an assert. So in this case, we're going to check that the text contains what we told it, and it's in that place using the skeleton that we created earlier, and that's the message. Let's save the file and run the test. Here we see the browser load. Type in everything we need to, go to the admin to check it there, click on the element, and the test passed. Now you're wondering, I didn't see anything there. It did show it up there. If we go look at the output from the test, it's over there. Nightwatch has built-in waiting that allows you to do everything you need to in your test and then just assert. Not having to worry about, is this element there? Because it's all there. Now, if it had failed and we wanted to check something, we could use the debug method, which loads up the debugger and allows us to go in and check that everything that we wanted is there. And then we can go into debug mode. You can type Nightwatch commands directly into there and then see everything running. So that is really, really useful. And thank you for watching our video on how to use Nightwatch.js. We went from absolutely nothing to having all our dependencies set up for us, recording a simple test, editing it in Visual Studio, and then being able to run it directly from Visual Studio so that we could see our results. We could move through this process super fast using Nightwatch.js so that it saves time in being able to develop tests. You can use your tests with Firefox, with Chrome, with Safari, and all the mobile versions of this. And even if you wanted to, you could also move to using WebKit and other developer-focused browsers. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you soon in the Nightwatch.js community.